Namaste and Jai Sri Krishna to all of my universal brothers and sisters and relatives and universal family members and friends and associates. I love you all. And I hope you love me just as much. May God bless you. Jai Sri Krishna. The very, very root and core of all moral discipline is mental purification through refraining from evil action and the active practice of virtue. As soon as you get an evil thought in your mind, you have to eliminate it. An unwanted thought about someone, your neighbor, your friend, your husband, your wife, your children, anybody, you get rid of it. Treat unwanted thoughts like unwanted guests. That is the way you must treat unwanted thoughts. For example, if someone were to come to my house and, be rude and be obnoxious and just be a complete, I don't want to say the word. I would ask him to leave. Please, I would say, excuse me, sir, that's inappropriate. I have no other choice but to ask you to leave. And if he continues to do it, I have no other alternative but to call the police. The same way you have to treat unwanted thoughts. You treat unwanted thoughts like unwanted guests. You have to call the police, the mental police. The mental police is who? God. Do good all times. Ahimsa and Satya symbolizes the avoidance of sin, sticking to virtue, and self-purification. Sin by what? Sin by thoughts, words, and deeds. Just by thinking evil about something, just by holding a grudge against somebody, that is bad. Get rid of all kind of grudges inside your heart, any kind of enmity you have against anybody or yourself or anybody. Get rid of it. As I explained in my previous YouTube blog, by having evil thoughts against somebody else, you have evil thoughts against yourself. By loving someone else, you are loving yourself. By helping out somebody, you are actually helping out yourself. That is the mindset that you should have. All harm arises out of man's egoism. As I have in my notes, the ego manifests its ambition, desire, and lust. For example, if you want to achieve something, and it is not done, from that arises anger. Lord Krishna says, Kam hi krodh hai. Kam hi krodh hai. From desire arises anger. Desire is the root cause of anger. The unfulfillment of desire leads to anger. That is why I strongly urge you to, if possible, to limit your desires. Limit. Be content. In the 8 bhaktis, one of them is Santosh. When Lord Rama visited Mother Saraswathi, he was preaching about contentment. Under the influence, man indulges in hatred, love, flattery, pride, hypocrisy, and delusion. To be stead-mindedness. Sthitya prajna. In chapter 2 of the Gita, Lord Krishna talks about Sthitya prajna. Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, and says, what is a sthit prajna? What are his thoughts? What are his actions? How does he carry himself? And Lord Krishna replied, a man who is completely equal of the mind, who has no hatred, who is completely aloof to both flattery and insult. To him, day and night are equal. To him, insults and admirations are the same. A lump of coal and a block of gold is the same. That is equal-mindedness. That is asthit prajya, according to the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Who loves everyone equally, that is asthit prajya. Jesus Christ said in the Bible, for the Lord your God sheds his light on both the righteous and the unrighteous. The moon is also for the righteous and the unrighteous. The wind And all the elements are for the righteous and unrighteous. Therefore, your mind has to be for your love, the love in your heart has to be both for the righteous and the unrighteous. Be as perfect as your Father is in heaven. Jesus said that. Buddha says the same thing, and Lord Krishna says the same thing. To eradicate egoism arises abhiman. Oh, this body is mine. These are my feelings. And they think constantly on the foulness and perishability. To think constantly on the foulness and perishability of the body, and the pain arise out of the senses. This whole body is perishable. But the soul is not perishable. The soul is not perishable. Only the body is perishable. Constantly think about that. It's like, why is he insulting me? Why is he doing this? They're hurting my feelings, my ego, my this, my that, insulting my family. What is my? My is nothing. I don't own anything. I don't own not even a grain of sand is mine. It all belongs to God. It's all perishable. Go char jahan man lag jai. Go char jahan man lag jai. Ye sab jano maya bhai. Lord Rama said in the Ramayana. Go char jahan man lag jai. Ye sab jano maya bhai. Lord Rama said. Lord Rama said, the totality of all that exists, the totality of all that exists, every planet, every moon, every star, every solar system, every galaxy, every clusters of galaxies, every universe and beyond, every multiverse and beyond, every dimension and beyond, it is all perishable. So why you are angry? That's what I want to know. Why you are angry? I want to know why. Why? There is nothing to be angry about. It is all perishable. Dwell upon that which is desirable, elevating, and divine, which is God. Dwell about God. Anytime you have a bad thought about somebody, think about God. Improper action, thoughtless action without discrimination gives rise to all misery. To get freedom from misery, the noble path of virtue is to be followed. That is the only path. Constant studying of scriptures. You rigidly observe truth, purity of your thoughts, speech, actions, inner motives, and general conduct. Monitor it. Monitor it. Be loving, tolerant, and charitable in your opinions of men and things, and in your dealings with others. That is spirituality, my brothers and sisters. And every single sphere, every individual should strive to adhere to these qualities and to manifest them. You'll notice a difference in yourself and in others. I really like, what's his name? He's on the tip of my tongue. Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer said, do not compare yourself to others. Instead, compare yourself to where you were 4 or 5 years ago, and look at all your accomplishments and be happy with that. It is very practical, and it's applicable in real life, and that leads to contentment, as what Lord Rama said. And when Wayne Dyer also said that if you change the way you look at things, what you look at changes. And it's very, very true. Yeah. It has to be practiced between parents and children, elders and youngsters, teachers and pupils, friends, gurus and disciples, teachers and followers, subjects and rulers, nations, and we will have world peace. We would not have all this senseless killing and murder over religion, over this and that. It is all one. Krishna, Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, Jesus, Krishna. They're all the same, my brothers and sisters. You must possess along the path of virtue. Be determined never to swerve even an inch from Dharma. Once you swerve an inch, you'll be tempted into doing bad things. The mind has to be carefully trained, and the will should be developed and strengthened. The mind must be exercised and disciplined to deliberate acts to deliberate acts of self-denial and self-sacrifice in everyday life. It'll take a lot of effort. Lord Rama said in the Ramayana, कि अति से लगड़ करे जो कोई अनल प्रगट चंदन से होई. He is giving an example. Lord Rama is giving an example that with sandalwood you can make fire. How you can make fire? By rubbing it together over and over and over and over and over. By constant training and abhyas. Then you'll get fire. The same way in our thoughts. Fire symbolizes pure actions, pure thoughts. The complete changing of your thoughts. Then you will get fire. Ethical culture therefore demands more diligence and right exertion. Diligence is very necessary. The development of a sensitive conscience and positive admiration for goodness and nobility plays a great part in ethical culture and in humanity in general. And one thing I will say this till my very, very last breath. Of what Swami Vivekananda said, what Jesus said, what Buddha said, what Allah said, what Confucius said. All great philosophers always said this. That service to humanity is, was, and always will be service to God. Service to humanity is service to God. May Lord Krishna bless you. And thank you very much for viewing my YouTube blogs. I don't take this for granted. Please subscribe. Feel free to ask questions in the description box. My email is supremelordkrishna@yahoo.com. Once again, please don't ask me anything that's controversial, like abortion, the death penalty, same-sex marriage, affirmative action, legalizing marijuana, capital punishment, or anything that's controversial. Please pertain your questions and comments only to Hinduism, meditation, yoga, or anything that has to do with Hinduism in general, or spirituality and meditation. And may Lord Krishna bless you, and thank you very much. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May God bless you.